Okay, so we are going to talk about what we refer to as the 33 Touch program. And really, this program is designed so that you guys can stay in touch with everybody in your existing network frequently and consistently throughout the year. And so the goal with our program is so that you can touch them or make contact with them 33 times at minimum throughout the course of a calendar year. Again, I start this way on purpose. Mission and vision. These are our company statements, but they're designed to get you to start thinking about your own mission and your own vision within your businesses. Same thing with values. What is it that you stand firm on? What is it that you want to build your business off of? What qualities or characteristics do you want to be seen as evident in your business? Beliefs, same thing. The one in red, that's really the one that's the most relevant to our discussion today, and it is, we believe we reap what we sow. And a lot of times I feel like you hear that like in a negative way, like, oh, you make your bed, you lay in it kind of thing. But in this case, it's actually a positive. We believe we reap what we sow, so what we put out is what we expect to get back. So we're going to talk about this proactive approach that will enable you guys to effectively stay in flow with people who know and like you. So afterwards, I would hope that you would expect to feel confident enough to solicit your friends, your family, and your past clients. Here's all that you can do to get the most out of today. Keep an open mind. Some of this you may already be doing. Some of it may be new, and you can start implementing it. Try to limit your distractions, and then as always, write down anything that stands out to you. By now, the plan should look familiar. Again, all of this is based off of the general real estate sales cycle. So for our purposes today, our prospecting source is our network. That's all of our friends, our family, our acquaintances, our colleagues, our past clients, everybody who makes up our network. Our goal is, of course, to generate leads. So the leads that we're trying to generate are referral leads and repeat leads. From there, we're going to try to either convert them into one of two things, either a seller or a buyer, or maybe they're both. That's going to help us to determine how we're going to service that client, which we call our client care systems. That's basically how you move your client throughout the process per the transaction, or each transaction. Then, of course, we talk about marketing. So yard signs, home ads, the internet, and then, of course, the just listed campaign. From there, it just cycles right back up in the form of repeat business. So when it comes to referrals and staying in touch with those that we know and love and those who know and love us, this is the overall plan as it relates to that. The program, as I mentioned earlier, is called the 33 Touch program, and it is designed to increase your referral and your repeat business by proactively, that's the key word there, proactively reaching those that are within your network. I feel like if you're like me anyway, that we tend just to stay in touch with a select few, even though our network is pretty vast. So I really like this program because it allows us to touch everybody equally. So what is our know, do, and have? If you guys have been around a while, at this point you understand that we don't focus on casting such a wide net. We are more concerned with drilling down deep and truly focusing our efforts on the activities that are truly vital to our business. So in order to do that, we have to be able to know the only things that we need to know, and we need to have only a certain amount of things in order to do what we set out to do. So what we're trying to do in this case is the 33 Touch program. So what do we need to know? We need to know what to say. We need to know our dialogue. And then what do we need to have? Well, we need to have a list. We need to know who is in our network. Then we're going to talk about what we're going to be able to send out to our network in the form of mailers, cards, and so on and so forth. So, fun fact about your network. Everyone, yes, everyone, you know, knows at least 5 people in their own network who will buy or sell this year. That's big. So you can already see the ripple effect, just how powerful it is for you to stay in touch with one person. So think about if you stayed in touch with 25 people, 50 people, 100 people, and how quickly that multiplies your reach and how quickly that multiplies your potential lead database. So keep that in mind. But I think it's also important to note too, who makes up our network. The first subgroup within our network are the advocates. These are people who know you, they like you, they are evangelical about you. So in other words, they would not do business with anybody but you, and they wouldn't have anybody that they know do business with anyone but you. These are your besties. These are the ones that will sing your praises without you even having to ask. Okay? This is what we all strive for, to make up our network full of advocates. The other subgroup that exists in each one of our networks is the friends, family, and acquaintances group. So these people also know you, they like you, and given the opportunity, they would do business with you. However, given the same opportunity, they may do business with others. Next, the other subgroup that is pretty evident in each one of our networks are the group of people who are past or present working relationships. So these are people who have discovered what that working relationship with you is like. So these are buyers, they're sellers, maybe they are FISBOs that you've reached out to, or maybe they are other participants who have been kind of in the periphery of those listing or buyer conversations that you've had. So I always think about like an adult child who maybe is around his or her parents who are trying to downsize or move to a different area, who was kind of privy to the conversation that you had, but wasn't a direct party of it or party to it. So I always think about those types of people as well, who kind of were exposed to the way that you do business, but not somebody that you directly interacted with. So that's everybody who makes up our network. So here, this slide is designed to kind of show you the framework and some good ideas and tips on the type of mailers that you could be sending. The key here is consistency. I think it's really simple for us to start off strong, but then as the days, the weeks, the months go by, we sometimes forget to stay on top of it. So the key here is consistency. And with mailers, there's a couple of things that we need to keep in mind. They must be professional in appearance. What do you think that means?
Exactly what you said. If it looks cheap,
Mm-hmm.
the quality, it's flimsy, it might have gotten messed up in the mail if you choose anything that's cheaper.
Exactly. Exactly.
Going,
right.
That's how they're going to market a house.
True. Professional to me is also something that is consistent, something that when they get it, they know, oh, this is from Christy with Remax, or this is from Remax. So it's something that easily communicates and complements your brand. So when they get something, they know immediately, oh, I have gotten something like this from her before. It's something that is something they can rely on, something that they understand that is going to be perceived as valuable too, which leads me to point number 2. The mailer has to be of value to the recipient. Otherwise, what's the point? And they're just going to gloss right over it. So, and then finally, the mailers have to be consistent. And so the 33 touch program needs to be mailed every 21 days. So every 3 weeks, something is going out. There's kind of a theme of threes. So every 3 weeks, 33 touch program. And so I know that seems overwhelming, but really, if you are mailing every 21 days, I think it's just something that gets incorporated into your routine. It's something that you can easily plug into your business to make sure that you're touching everybody equally. So I get asked a lot about what are some examples of mailers that could be perceived as valuable. What are proven mailers? The first one, recipe cards. I think these are highly valuable around Thanksgiving more than anything else. I think it's it provides a very good opportunity for not only for you guys to send something that's perceived as valuable, but also something that kind of lets your network into you as a person. And what I mean by that is I think about recipe cards that, especially Thanksgiving holiday type things, it seems like every family has a go-to recipe that was passed down forever and ever and ever.
This is my grandma's recipe.
Right. So it's kind of like, hey, happy Thanksgiving. In the spirit of the holiday, I thought it would be great to share with you one of my family's favorite recipes. Enjoy. So it's warm, it's personable, it lets them into your world a little bit, not as Christy the realtor, but Christy the person, but also provides them with something that they could use in their own world, in their own lives. So recipe cards, good example. Home ownership tips or articles. So in the springtime, I think about maybe sending them a schedule on the best times to water your yard and how frequently does it need to be watered in the summertime. How often should you be cutting your grass? Things like that. You could send them information about maybe like a home of the month, maybe a home that's sold in like 2 days, or maybe one that is hard for you to move, one that you just need to add additional exposure to. That could be something, hey, I have this gem of a home that I wanted to share with you guys. If you know of anybody, send them my way. Inspirational stories, everybody loves those, no matter what. It's just good, especially maybe around October where everything is so heavily focused on breast cancer awareness and prevention, things like that. Good examples. So every 3 weeks, the examples that we just went through, that makes up for 16 touches of the 33. So right there, you can send them, you could literally just work down this list if you wanted to. But that right there consists of 16 touches. Another 2 touches is pretty obvious, birthday cards. These do not have to be anything fancy. They can literally be a postcard or a birthday card that goes in the mail that you handwrite that just says, happy birthday, wish you the best, sincerely, Christy. The key here is to acknowledge both parties. So the husband and the wife, or the wife and the husband or the husband. Either way, just make sure you're acknowledging both throughout the year. Another great opportunity, Mother's Day and Father's Day cards, but only if they're parents. Now, you'll know pretty quickly, especially people who are your friends, people who are your family, anybody that you've represented, you generally know who has children, who doesn't. But same thing, you want to send it to both the husband and the wife to acknowledge both sides. So that's another 2 touches. So combined, that's another 4. Now we're up to 20 touches. Holiday cards. This is dealer's choice. You can pick any holiday you want, whether it's St. Patrick's Day or Halloween or Christmas or New Year. Whatever you want to do, send a holiday card. This goes to the household, so it's 1 touch. Again, nothing fancy, just a generic card. Another 8 touches comes into play when we talk about thank you or thinking of you cards. So maybe someone calls you and they say, hey, I'm friends with your friend, John, and he told me that you are in real estate and I really could use your help. That should prompt you to send John a thank you note. So things like that. So looking for opportunities to extend gratitude to those who are helping build your business. It could even be, if somebody ran an errand for you, send them a thank you card. If somebody helped you in your time of need, send them a thank you card. Thinking of you cards, that goes a long way. Hey, it's been a while since you and I were able to go grab a glass of wine. I was thinking of you. Let's get together soon. It could be thinking of you this holiday season. Thinking of you as your kids go back to school. Anything, any reason that you could come up with to make contact with someone falls into this category. And 8 touches, so that can be 2 per quarter. 2, 4, 6, 8. You could do all 8 at one time. Whatever the case, just make sure that you include that. And then telephone calls. So telephone calls are great because they allow people who haven't talked with you in a while to get some interaction with you where your real personality comes through. So this is 4 touches. You can call each person in your network 4 times per year. This seems like a lot, but really, if you think about it, you're already having these phone conversations during the day. So why not just be proactive about calling 2 people from your network every day, just to touch base with them, but just because you haven't talked to them in a while, just because you're just checking on their well-being, just because you just wanted to hear their voice, whatever the case may be, make that a part of your daily activities where you reach out and make a phone call to everyone in your network. Now, old school would have you say that you would need someone's permission in order to follow up with them and keep in touch with them. I disagree. In our world today, we are constantly being bombarded with information and trying to connect with brands and companies all the time. I think it's just understood that when you work with someone, I would expect that person to stay in touch with me just because you work with these people for more than a month or longer. To me, it's just understood. However, if you have someone that you feel like that permission is needed, this is really good dialogue to include to make sure that they're comfortable with staying in touch with you. So, hi, Mr. Smith. This is Kristen. How's your family? How's the job? So you just kind of break the ice, right? So the reason that I'm calling is because I recently learned that every person that I know also knows 5 people this year who are going to want to buy or sell real estate. And as you know, I'm very serious about what I do, and I love to help as many people as I can. So that got me thinking, why don't I just put together a list of the people that I know who wouldn't mind helping me grow my business? And your name is one of the first ones that I thought about. So would you mind if I put you on my list? And they're going to tell you, absolutely not. Please do. Because they're really nice, wonderful people. So maybe they're a little skeptical though. Maybe they say, well, what does that mean? And it's simple. You just let them know that when you hear someone who maybe is wanting to buy or sell and you think that you could help them by giving them my name, that would be wonderful. But I would also like to stay in contact with you throughout the year. And so I might send you a few things in the mail, or maybe even give you a phone call from time to time. Is that okay? And they're going to say, of course. And then say, and just to complete my file, tell me when your birthday is, in case you don't have it.
Yeah.
And then what about Mrs. Smith's birthday? Can you remind me what her birthday was? That way you have them both. And sometimes you'll get this just whenever you see paperwork coming through in their file, you'll be able to kind of make notes.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember to actually include that in your spreadsheet or wherever you keep your people. So how do we create our list? I get asked this a lot. So you want to figure out, are you going to use a CRM or a client relationship management system? Or are you going to just put everybody in Excel and create your own database? So I think it really is a matter of your preference on how you want to go about this. Remax recently bought Bouge, which stands for Be Original or Jealous. And it is going to be basically a supercharged CRM.
Oh, really?
They are developing it and fine-tuning it right now, and it's going to be incredibly intuitive, a very smart system that is going to purely function as a CRM. So you can set up campaigns to where they are automated, to where they just go out whenever you set the frequency, which would be great for this kind of program that we're talking about. Or, there are other agents in this office who utilize Microsoft Excel on the daily and love it because I think it just allows them to have as much control over it as possible. So whatever the case, just make sure that you have all of your contacts in one place that you can easily manage and continue to add to the list.
When is that Bouge coming out?
June of 2019 is when they're going to roll it out to everybody. I am super excited about that. If you have to make that permission call, that's when you would do it after you've gathered all of your people in there. Make sure that you input all of the new names as you get them, as you work with people, as you meet people in the community. Make sure that you're constantly adding them into your database so that it is evolving all the time and growing all the time. And then you can also start with what we call the 8 in 8 campaign. this is a wonderful marketing tool that basically outlines your processes that you use with each of your buyers and with each of your sellers, but without giving away all of your super secrets that make it effective and amazing. So 8 and 8 was developed by a company called Hobbs Herder, and they are out of California, massive company.
I know them.
They polled a neighborhood and they said, if you had to do a real estate transaction tomorrow, what realtor would you use? And of course, as you would expect, all of the responses were all over the board. So Hobbs Herder created this fictitious person, totally made them up, and sent postcards to this neighborhood, 1 postcard a week per household for 8 solid weeks, 8 and 8. After 1 postcard a week for 8 weeks. So after those 8 weeks, they repolled the neighborhood and they said, if you had to do a real estate transaction tomorrow, what realtor would you use? And it was something crazy, like 98% of them referred to this fictitious realtor that Hobbs Herder created. And what they did, why they did it, was to prove a point of the power of exposure. So just staying relevant, top of mind, in front of people is the key. So really cool. So the 8 and 8 campaign was deliberate in the sense that it's built, it's something that builds upon itself. So you're basically telling a sequential story of the way that you work with your buyers and a sequential story of how you work with your sellers, but without giving away all of your secrets. The 8 and 8 campaign, we're going to cover that today to show you what the content looks like. But bonus, the 8 and 8 campaign postcards are already created for you within the design center that RE/MAX offers. Very cool. Now, after your 8 and 8 goes out, you can also mail those thank you or thinking of you cards daily, depending on the size of your network and your database. And then you can wait a month to begin making those phone calls, just so you have a chance for your network to have already heard from you through a mailer. Okay, so let's talk first about the 8 and 8 for sellers. And since we recently covered the listing conversion class, this is going to be familiar territory for you because it illustrates the step-by-step of that listing conversion process. So this is just an example of what a postcard could look like. So think of your photograph here, your contact information, your website, whatever else, and then your office or your brokerage logo up here, and then it's just very crisp, very clean. Now again, if you don't want to start from scratch, the Design Center has the 8 and 8 postcards already made. All you have to do is order them. So before listing your home with a realtor, it's very important to understand that there are differences in the way that professionals in real estate prefer to behave. And so already you're already differentiating yourself. There's typical over here, and then there's unique over here. I fall under this category, which is unique. So I choose to behave as a real estate consultant. And as such, I'm going to take a consultative approach to selling your home. In the coming weeks, you will receive an overview of the strategies that I use, not only to differentiate myself, but also to create a win-win working relationship with my sellers. Until then. So I love this because you are not trying to get a listing. You're not trying to get business from them. It's just, hey, let me tell you how I do things. And you're also setting the stage for, hey, you're going to hear from me over the next course of several weeks. So it gives them something to look forward to. It lets them know, oh, there's more to come. And I love this kind of like, stay tuned. It just says until then. So that's the first postcard that goes out at week 1. Week number 2, postcard number 2. Again, consistency in the visuals. It matters because then they know what to expect. When they see it, they automatically are going to make that connection. So my goal is to focus on your needs. Love that. As your real estate consultant, I will not make basic assumptions. Instead, I'm going to ask you questions and then listen to the specific needs that you have in the sale of your home. Okay, so right there. Uncovering needs, prioritizing those needs. Until then, week number 3, postcard number 3. It's unacceptable to leave your money on the table. As your real estate consultant, I will not bring the typical agent's market analysis. Instead, I will provide and will interpret a unique set of pricing tools, which will reveal the best price most in line with your needs. So there you go. That lets them know right away that you have a strategy that you use as it pertains to price. Okay, postcard number 4 for week number 4. So we're a month in at this point. Selling your home is a team effort. As your real estate consultant, I will not overpromise and underperform. Instead, we will agree on exactly what you can expect from me as your real estate consultant and what I can expect from you as my partner. So there's the roles and expectations aspect of it right there. Until then. Okay, going into month number 2 with postcard number 5. Frequent and effective communication is the key to a good working relationship. As your real estate consultant, I'm not going to forget about you once the sign goes in the yard. Instead, I'm going to call you weekly with updates on any showings, open houses, and any changes that may have occurred in the market. Until then. Okay, postcard number 6. Leverage is the key to success. So I'm not going to be content with one offer. Instead, I'm going to work diligently to create multiple offers in an attempt to obtain a higher sales price, which, as you know, if you price appropriately, you basically position yourself to do that because it creates the illusion in the marketplace that that is a deal because everybody else prices too high. Postcard number 7. I will always respect your time, your needs, and your finances. So I will not transact business over the phone just so I can save time. Instead, I'll meet with you face-to-face to explain every offer in detail, always comparing each offer with your specific needs. Now, granted, this may not be feasible with every client that you have. Maybe they're out of town and they're relocating here. Maybe they work shift work, whatever the case. This just lets them know you are here for them as much as they want you to be there. Okay, so then rounding out the first 8 and 8 campaign as it relates to sellers, we've now arrived at postcard number 8, week number 8. A working relationship should not be set up to fail from the very beginning. So I am not going to sell you the blue sky or tell you what I think that you want to hear, but instead I'm going to be totally honest with you about the options that you have based on your needs. Until then, and I love that because it's like, it's not over. I'm just going to wait to hear from you, basically. Until then. So you can see how that just completely outlines the framework of your process as it relates to working with sellers and listings. But it doesn't give away any of the actual secrets or strategies that you use to be effective with these strategies. So that was for the selling side. Let's then look at the buyer side. And just know too that a lot of this has overlap because a lot of it is the same. So the first one for week number 1, before deciding on a realtor, it's very important to know that there are definite differences in the way that professionals in real estate prefer to behave. So this is just like on the seller side. So you're letting them know from the very beginning that you choose to behave as a real estate consultant. So you're somebody who takes a strategic and consultative approach to helping you find and buy your perfect home. So in the coming weeks, you're going to receive an overview of the strategies that I use, not only to differentiate myself, but also to create those win-win working relationships with buyers. So that one is almost identical to the first postcard that we use on the seller side. Okay, postcard number 2. Focus is 98% of success. As your real estate consultant, I'm not going to throw you into my car and show you 20 to 50 homes in the hopes that you will just settle for one. Instead, I will use a proactive approach that begins with a face-to-face meeting so that we can focus on the needs you have in your perfect home. So, uncovering and prioritizing needs. Week 3, you don't want to fall in love with a home that you can't buy. So, as your consultant, I'm not going to put my needs above yours by tempting you with homes that fall outside of your comfort zone. Instead, I will respect your finances by showing you only homes that meet your predetermined financial needs. Okay, week 4. Finding your perfect home is a team effort. So as your real estate consultant, I will not overpromise and underperform. Instead, we'll agree on exactly what you can expect from me as your buyer consultant and what I can expect from you as my partner. So that one is almost identical to the listing side as well. That's roles and expectations right there. Week 5. A working relationship shouldn't be set up to fail from the very beginning. And as your consultant, I'm not going to sell you the blue sky or tell you what I think that you want to hear. Instead, I'm going to be totally honest with you about your options based on your needs. Again, that one is identical to the seller side. Number 6. I love this one because it creates urgency.
Okay.
Other buyers are looking at your perfect home. So as your real estate consultant, I'm not going to allow precious time to pass and risk your perfect home being sold to someone else simply because I'm not prepared. Instead, I'm going to pre-assemble everything needed for you to make an informed and an intelligent offer immediately upon finding your perfect home. Again, this one reinforces urgency. Time is of the essence. As your real estate consultant, I will not procrastinate on the many activities that must be implemented during the option period. So instead, I will immediately assist you with the scheduling of inspections. I'll meet with you face-to-face once those inspections are complete, and I'll help you determine which, if any, repairs are needed to amend the contract accordingly. I love that because not only does it create a sense of urgency for ourselves, but it's also communicating a good message in the sense that, hey, look, there is so much work that is being done behind the scenes that you may not always see. And then finally, postcard number 8, the last one, my priority is to keep you informed throughout the process. As your real estate consultant, I'm not going to lose focus and allow things to fall apart once the option period has expired. Instead, I will stay in weekly contact with all parties until the keys to your new home are successfully placed in your hands. I love that. That's the happy ending that we all strive for. So a goodie and a bonus that I wanted to share with you guys. When Charlie and I went to Missouri recently for our conference, there was a vendor there. What is this company? Personal marketing company, who got in front of our group and talked to us, and they told us they produce this ongoing campaign in the form of mailers, and it's called the Pro Power Program, and it's basically 23 mailings over a 5-year period for $25 per client, which includes the postage. If you call them and let them know that you're with Remax, they will discount it even further. So pretty cool deal here. And so for year 1, they mail postcards in February and July, and then they send magazines during the month of May and November. Magazines. Year 2, they mail postcards the months of February, July, and December, with magazines coming in May and November.
Wait, what are magazines?
These. So it's just typical home buyer, homeowner tips, things like that. Things that we talked about. Transform your space into an outdoor oasis. Just general information. These are the postcard examples, and I'll let you play with these in just a second, but they're very good quality. They are branded with your photograph. They do all of that for you. And then, so year 3 mimics year 1, 2 postcards, 2 magazines. Year 4 mimics year 2. So 3 postcards, 2 magazines, and then the pattern just continues. So week 1, this one is the first mailing that goes out to your database, and it's a package that contains a thank you postcard, just a nice thanks for being who you are, but it also includes pre-printed address labels with their new address on them. So it's something that's personalized to them, that involves their new home, that also is an opportunity for you to thank them for working with them. It was a privilege.
Nice.
So then the postcards, that's 12 postcards over a 5-year period, and they're mailed February and July for all 5 years, and then in December for years 2 and 4. They are designed to strengthen your brand and to keep you top of mind. The magazines include recipes, trends, travel information.
They're picking out all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Home decor. And it's 20 pages of publication, so 20 pages for these magazines. And they are mailed every spring and every fall for the full 5 years. So these are pretty thick. And I love them because they're also the size, just very, very similar to the size of a postcard. So you can kind of see that. And these are also branded. So here's your face, here's your information. And then of course your Remax stuff will be on here as well. But yeah, I mean, this was pretty cool. So 23 mailings, 5 years, only $25 per client. It's definitely something to look into if you just wanted to kind of set it and forget it.
Yeah.
And I've got
thinking, what's recipe am I going to do? What tip am I going to give them? Because
precisely.
That takes a lot of time.
So I have their information that I can email if you're interested in that, but quality is pretty sound. I was pretty pleased with it. So anyway, just another option. And again, as I mentioned, I want to say that they will offer another discount just because we are affiliated with Remax. So that's something to look into as well.
Yes.
Yes, I will send that information. But yeah, that is the 33 Touch program. It's all about consistency. It's all about sending something that is perceived to be valuable. And it's something that is always professional in appearance and something that is thoughtful. That's really the basis of it. And this just allows you guys to plug this into your business as part of your daily activities so that your whole network can be touched throughout the year. Any questions?